Absolutely brilliant. We've got Jake the Ripper, we're looking for Jack the Ripper, and now we've found Jack the Clipper. A few years after the Jack the Ripper murders, some of the original street names were changed to avoid notoriety. Other sites are now buried beneath new buildings, but this walk will take you very close to all 5 sites. You can also join one of the numerous guided walks. Good morning everyone, I'm joined by Jake and a lovely Candice. Hello. We're in London.
Londinium.
We're in Aldgate, aren't we? In Whitechapel, I think.
East End of London.
East End of London. We're doing a walk out of this new book I've got, 50 Walks in London. 2.75 miles this one. And we're going to be exploring Jack the Ripper's East End. So yeah, it's only a short walk, but we're going to be sort of visiting all like the sites where the murder victims were found and stuff like that. What's left of it, unfortunately, yeah. That's going to be a common sound we'll hear today. So, bit of an urban walk, you could say. See, I'll tell you a little bit about the history of Jack the Ripper. You should all know who Jack the Ripper is. So yeah, it should be a good one this. Anyways, enough talking, let's get walking! In the space of 10 weeks during the autumn of 1888, 5 women, all prostitutes, were brutally murdered. At the time, Whitechapel was home to the poor and destitute, and pollution from sewers was commonplace. If you didn't die of hunger, then you had a high chance of succumbing to disease. Infant mortality was soaring. Over 80% of the population were considered criminals. Given these facts, prostitution may not have seemed such a bad option for many women. As illiteracy was high among the poor, no doubt news of the killings was spread by word of mouth. Although in the literate world at the time, the murder of a prostitute would hardly have raised too many eyebrows. More than 100 years later, the murderer's true identity remains a mystery. Jack the Ripper has become one of the most notorious serial killers of all time, and the subject of many films and documentaries. The first victim, 42-year-old Mary Ann Nichols, was found with her throat cut from left to right, suggesting that the killer was left-handed. Her stomach had also been slashed several times. Okay, this is Wentworth Street, which is the site of Jack's first murder victim, Mary Ann Nichols, although little now remains of the original streets. Annie Chapman, aged 47, was the second victim, and, as well as having her throat cut, certain organs had been skillfully removed from her abdomen. So this is the murder scene of the second victim, Annie Chapman. Okay, the school here in Ripper'S Street is the site of the Ripper's third victim. So yeah, third victim, Elizabeth Stride here. The third victim, 45-year-old Elizabeth Stride, also had her throat cut, but apparently a passing pony and trap, driven by the man who discovered her corpse, interrupted the killer. Victim number 4 was Catherine Eddowes, aged 46, who was found less than an hour after Stride. Her uterus and left kidney had been removed. The kidney was later sent to the chairman of the Whitechapel Vigilance Committee in a package along with a note. Crowds began to gather at the murder sites and vigilante groups became increasingly active, frustrated by the apparent failings of the police investigation. Records showed that the Ripper was able to spend more time with his last victim, Mary Jane Kelly. Mary was the only one in her 20s and was murdered at her home. However, she was so badly mutilated she could only be identified by her hair and her eyes. Ten Bells pub next to Christchurch and Commercial Road is perhaps the most famous pub in Ripper history. It has Victorian tiled walls and candlelit tables. Between 1880 and 1914, Whitechapel became home to hundreds of Eastern European Jewish refugees. The soup kitchen in Broome Street is evidence of this. Here, the Jewish poor, as they were called, came for some basic hot soup.
That's great.
We're in Wentworth Street, which is more commonly known as Petticoat Lane, of course home of the famous market. The markets here are some of the best in London. Petticoat Lane and its subsidiaries form a river of market stalls, especially on a Sunday morning. Spitalfields market is undercover and tends to consist of crafts and fashion. I'm in my element here. Right, we're going in. Hi ho, hi ho, it's off to the pub we go. That group of people there is one of the official Jack the Ripper tours. We've got our own one.
And for banging.
I think it's for free as well, isn't it? Are the Jack the Ripper tours free, or do you have to pay a
Free.
They're free.
I think they run every so often. They're 363 days a year, apart from Christmas.
Oh.
I think.
There you go, people. Ah. Thought we had a bargain there. Oh, another pigeon. And across the road is Aldgate Station, where we started. So that's the end of the walk.
With thanks to.
It's been a good one. This has been something different, very different. So that was a little look around Jack the Ripper's East End here in London, Whitechapel to be precise. So hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Happy Halloween, and you'll see us all again soon. See you later. Bye.